Good afternoon and welcome to the first School of Business briefing. I'm Bob Ames. I'm an associate dean at the Calvin University School of Business, and it's just my pleasure to welcome all of you today to our first briefing. The intent of these briefings, by the way, is to give you regular updates and information on what's happening at your School of Business here at Calvin. So we hope you're going to find these informative, and I want you to be aware of a couple of things. We're going to be recording these, and the content will be available online afterwards. You'll be able to find it on the Calvin YouTube or Vimeo channels, and we'll find ways to get links to those sites for you so that you can rewatch or share this content. Our topic today is going to be a first look at the brand new Master of Business Administration degree that we're going to be offering starting in the fall at Calvin University. You should know that this was just received its final approval yesterday from the Faculty Senate. It's been approved by the Higher Learning Commission, and everything is under development, and we're all very excited about it. So we're going to be talking to Marilyn Stansberry about that new program. Your questions are very important to us. So during the presentation, if you have a question, what we'd like you to do is just to the right of the player screen that you're watching this briefing on, you'll find a place to enter your name, and you have to check a box agreeing that agrees to the term of service. And then you can post your questions, and we'll be processing through the questions after my discussion with Professor Stansberry. So without further ado, I'd really like to introduce Professor Stansberry. Marilyn Stansberry is, I would have to say, she's really sort of been our expert and our driving force in the School of Business in developing and launching graduate programs. She came to Calvin sometime back after a successful career as a senior manager for Deloitte, and she is now serving as associate dean of the School of Business, as well as continuing to be an accounting professor in our highly successful undergraduate and graduate accounting programs. And as I said, she's had her hand in graduate programs at Calvin for some time, as she's currently serving as the director of our Master of Accounting program. And she actually led the development and the launch of that successful program. And if that wasn't enough, she stepped up, and she's currently leading the development and launch of our online MBA. So I'm happy to have my colleague and friend, Marilyn Stansberry, joining me for this session today. I'm going to start off, too, by asking Marilyn a question of why did the Calvin University School of Business choose to develop an online MBA program at this time?
Thanks, Bob. We really wanted to create opportunities to pursue an authentically reformed Christian business graduate education, one that's adaptable and flexible to anyone's schedule. And so having it in an asynchronous online format is an excellent way to do that.
Great. And of course, there's been a lot of development at Calvin recently in terms of online learning. Some of it forced by the pandemic, but some of it being connected to the development and the launch of the Calvin Global Campus. You want to speak to that at all, Marilyn?
Sure. So Calvin's Global Campus was formed over a year ago now, and they really helped provide some of the capabilities to allow for robust online learning opportunities. So we're excited to partner with them. If you go out to Calvin's website, you'll notice that there are other online programs, MA programs, that are planned to be launched in the next 3 years, 1 to 3 years.
Great. So there's a lot of activity going on at Calvin right now, and it's kind of exciting to have business in the mix. as you were working on kind of developing the Calvin MBA, what kinds of students did you have in mind when you were developing this program?
Yeah, good question. We really wanted to attract and make this program attractive, rather, to both business graduates, so graduates of business undergraduate programs, as well as non-business undergraduates. And we've designed the program specifically for that. So, for example, if you graduated with a business degree and now you'd like to pursue additional leadership opportunities, this program provides a great opportunity to do that. It's designed to help you enhance your current skills while acquiring new skills. If you don't come from a business background, perhaps you have found yourself currently working for a business, but you didn't have the undergraduate degree in business, this program is a great opportunity for you to then learn more about business as well as leadership opportunities. So there's a path for many different types of students in this program. We also have specializations or concentrations that we offer as part of this online MBA, which we'll talk about here coming up, I believe, Bob. But we've got a business analytics concentration as well as a nonprofit management concentration.
Great. Yeah. So it sounds like there's really a little something for everyone in this program, both people who are just interested in developing some new business skills to further their career, as well as maybe people who didn't study business and now find themselves in business and they just need to get a good grounding in some understanding of business and develop some of those valuable skills. Is that right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk then. You started to mention concentrations. What are the specific courses of study that are being offered to students in our online MBA program?
So the required courses, there are 9 of them. You'll see a mix of some marketing, some accounting, some finance. You'll also see several courses focused on organizational leadership, strategy. And then we also have these additional concentrations. So the other 3 courses that students can choose from, so 9 required. The other 3 could come from one of our 2 concentrations, business analytics, which focuses on data cleansing, data wrangling, data visualization, predictive analytics, or nonprofit management, how to basically manage the finances for a nonprofit management organization. What does it look like working for a nonprofit management organization, working with volunteers, etc. So those would be the 2 concentrations. But then we're also allowing a general track for those 3 remaining courses. And that track can include courses from our currently offered MA programs, whether residential or online. For example, we have a Master of Media and Strategic Communication. So there are courses available in that program that can then count towards this online MBA.
That sounds really exciting. I mean, the idea that not only can you take, of course, business courses and some of these specific courses that'll help you become more proficient in analytics or in managing a nonprofit, but you can connect to some of the other graduate programs being offered by Calvin at the same time. That's pretty exciting. And I know you mentioned that the idea of this flexible format should appeal to people who are working full time. How quickly did you say they could go through this course?
So you can complete all 12 courses within 1 year.
Okay.
So that would be the fastest. On average, if you complete the program part-time, it would be 2 years. But then we're allowing up to a total of 4 years to complete the program.
Great. Okay. And what really distinguishes Calvin's online MBA offering? I mean, what sets it apart from everybody else?
Well, as you know, Bob, Calvin has always been distinctive in terms of integrating faith and learning. And so it's something that Calvin cares deeply about, our faculty care deeply about. And so our MBA is thoroughgoingly and Reformed Christian in its goals and methods. and therefore it makes it distinctive from other MBA programs.
Very good. And when we look at the what distinguishes us from others, obviously Calvin has been blessed with tremendous faculty. Who's going to be teaching these courses?
Right. So if you're a Calvin undergraduate, then you'll recognize some of your favorite professors, Professor Van Drunen, Professor Jason Stansberry. We also have some very well qualified affiliate faculty with many years of industry experience that will be teaching in the program.
Great. So it sounds like we're going to have a real strong collection of experts who are also great Christian teachers. So that's very exciting. You mentioned that if somebody really wanted to kind of buzz through this thing in short order, they could get through it in as little as 1 year. And I think it'd be interesting. I think we've got a sample schedule we can throw up, and I'd love to have you comment just on the rhythm of this, because it's not following just a normal semester program, is it?
That's correct. So each of our courses are offered asynchronously in an 8-week session. And so to complete the program full time, as you've shown here on the screen, Bob, students would take 2 courses in the first 8-week term in the fall, 2 courses in the second 8-week term in the fall, followed by another 2 8-week courses in the spring each term, and then in the summer. Now, what's nice about this format is students are not locked into starting in the fall or in the spring or in the summer. You can start at any point during the year because none of the courses have prerequisites.
That's great. So it sounds like there's lots of flexibility, not only in when you do the work, but when you jump into the program and how quickly you can complete it. And I think if I'm looking at this slide right, you've also shown some of the coursework in here that points towards concentrations. But again, a good reminder. I think you mentioned earlier that for students who want to, there are other graduate offerings from Calvin that have relevance to an online MBA program that people can slot in there as well, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
One thing I also wanted to point out, Bob, is that students may transfer up to 6 credits into the program, depending on the applicability of that coursework to the online MBA.
Oh, that's great. That's very good. So lots of flexibility and lots of different options here. So when is this online program, the MBA, going to start accepting applications?
Yes, next week. So March 30th, the application will be available to complete online.
Oh, that's very exciting. So people will be able to jump on our website and get access to more information and applications starting as soon as March 30th. That's great. Well, let's. I'm looking to see if we've got some questions here, and while we're waiting for questions, if we have a system here that we're all learning because it's brand new. But I guess one of the questions that I would ask is what you've worked on this program for quite some time, Marilyn. I think the ideation of this thing began a couple of years ago, right? Mm-hmm. What are you most excited about as you start thinking about the School of Business having not only a master's in accounting but now a new MBA program? What about that excites you the most?
Well, again, because our MBA program is designed for both a business undergraduate as well as a non-business undergraduate, I'm really excited to see just the diversity of students within a given class. I know that we can all learn from each other, and just hearing about people who are coming from different angles, different walks of life and industries, I find that very exciting.
Great. We've got one question from our audience today so far. Can you give some examples of some of the actual courses that are part of the online MBA program?
Sure. So we've got 4 courses focused heavily on organizational leadership. One of those courses is responsibility leadership. Another one of those courses focuses on working in groups and teams. In our general courses, we've got statistics. We know that some people have already completed a statistics course in their undergraduate program. It may have been a while since they've completed that course, and certainly with current industry experience, a lot more opportunities to identify how statistics are used. So we've got statistics. There's a finance course as well. There's a marketing concepts course that focuses on heavily using data analysis as part of the marketing function. So those are just examples.
Yeah, that's being a marketing guy myself. The focus on analytics and on data is so profoundly transformed all of the fields in marketing. So I'm glad to hear that focus in this graduate course. I think I recall one or two of the courses too for the concentrations. You mentioned some of the data wrangling, but I thought there were one or two really interesting ones in the nonprofit management concentration as well. Can you mention one or two of those courses specifically?
Sure. So there's the nonprofit financial management. That's designed for the non-accountants. There's also leading nonprofit organizations, and that would include managing as well.
Great. And I think there was one that, probably the leading the organizations one that dealt with understanding and helping to manage boards, which is so critical to the success of a nonprofit.
Exactly.
We have one of our viewers asking a question. Is there a maximum number of enrollees? How many students do we think are likely to enroll for the MBA program and for the courses in the program?
And that's an excellent question, but we plan to keep the course sizes right around 30 is what we're anticipating.
All right, so we'll try to not have super big classes, and of course the online asynchronous mode of teaching gives really interesting ways for the faculty to get very closely connected to the individual students, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so very exciting. One other question that I'd have, and this may be more of a kind of an out there kind of a question, but do you see more developments in the MBA program coming down the road? And if so, are there any areas that you think we might expect to see in a couple of years?
I can see us adding additional concentrations. We've already started conversations about having a business writing concentration in the program. So I think we will continue to see additional opportunities as far as tracks of specialization.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, and that one sounds very exciting too, because it leverages another one of those great areas of strength for Calvin. So, yeah. Well, that's exciting. Well, I look forward to just seeing what happens here in the next weeks and months ahead as all of the interest turns into applications and inquiries. And I want to thank you and thank the rest of the team that's been working to develop this online MBA for Calvin, Maryland. You've done a great service to the School of Business and to our future students. So thank you. And do you want to mention any of the other folks that are on your team that have been working hard to develop this?
Yes, it's lots of people. Calvin Global Campus, definitely. My colleagues, Jason Stansberry, Brian Cawley, Joe Reisner, Leonard Van Drunen, Peter Snyder. It's a whole team.
That's great. Some very familiar names to the Calvin faithful out there. Well, again, thank you so much, Marilyn. I think what I'd like to do now is just kind of wrap this thing up, and I want to tell all of you that are watching what's coming next for the School of Business. We've got a dean search underway, and it's very exciting. We're interviewing some candidates. There's been a search committee at work on that since the end of last year, and they're making great progress. And we also, of course, for those of you that were aware of it or maybe even attended, we had a groundbreaking a couple of weeks ago in the parking lot outside of the DeVos Communication Center, and we're going to be building a new building, and it's going to be open for business in the fall of 2022. So those are some exciting things that are coming up. Also in April, we're planning on a business briefing, and I believe that's on the 21st. And it's the topic for that business briefing is the new finance programs at Calvin University and in our School of Business. For those of you that are close to our finance programs, you're well aware that building on sort of that long legacy of excellence that we've had in accounting, we've been blessed with a couple of really strong finance professors who've developed some excellent academic programs, as well as some student organizations that just give our students tremendous opportunities to learn about finance and to develop skills that are incredibly valued by the marketplace. So want to encourage all of you to take time for that. We're going to do that one again at noon. The live event will be at noon on April 21st, so that people in multiple time zones can jump into it. And we'll also be recording that, and we'll make that content available for you to share with your friends or for you to watch at another time. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. Feel free to send us feedback at business@calvin.edu. Let us know what you think about this briefing. Let us know if there's some topics that you'd like to hear about maybe later in the year. So thanks again for joining us, and thanks for all your support for Calvin University and our School of Business.